Shabbat Shalom. Our Torah portion this week presents to us the concept of kashrut, of kosher food, of which animals in particular were prohibited or permitted for us to eat, for Jews to consume. And there are many debates as to the logic behind this. Of course, the Torah tells us what we're allowed to do and what we're not allowed to do, but doesn't give us the logic or the idea behind it. And that's up to the commentators to debate. Maimonides famously says that there are health benefits to keeping kosher, and Abravanel points out that there are many people who don't keep kosher who maintain physical health, and so there must be something spiritual to it. It's about spiritual well-being and the like. And there's another side to keeping kosher that I think is worth considering. And to present this side, I share a story that I heard a number of years ago. It was presented by the Israeli journalist and writer Sivan Rahav Meir. And she told the story of a rabbi who was invited in the UK, a rabbi who was invited to a royal gathering, was invited to Buckingham Palace to dine with Prince Philip, with Queen Elizabeth, and with many, many other dignitaries. And the rabbi, of course, had special needs and special kashrut needs, and made advanced arrangements and called the palace ahead. And whatever it is, they do this, and they ensured that special food was prepared, and they also ensured that special dishes were present. And so the rabbi arrived and took his place card and sat down at his assigned seat, and he had a specific plate and fork and knife and spoon and bowl. Everything that was needed there was specially prepared, was kosher for the rabbi, and was different than all the other cutlery and silverware and plates that were present at the dinner. It was very clearly distinct. And at a certain point, when they were sitting at the dinner, the one person made an announcement. The MC or whoever was coordinating the dinner said, we're going to try something different, and we're going to ask everyone, because this is the idea of meeting each other, please get up and move to a different seat. This was before the food was served. So after they had a chance to chat with the people around them, they were supposed to get up and move and sit next to other people. But the rabbi had a dilemma, because the plate so the rabbi took the plate and piled on the fork and the spoon and the knife and the cups or whatever, and walked around holding his plate, looking for a different place to sit, because that was the idea of mixing it up. And there was another Jewish person who was there who approached the rabbi and said, "What are you doing? You're walking around with a plate. Why? You're embarrassing us. This is something that's so primitive." And before he knew it, the rabbi turned around and Prince Philip was standing right there. And he said, "What are you doing? Why? There are plates at every seat. You don't have to bring your plate with you to your new seat." And the rabbi explained, "Well, these are the laws of keeping kosher, which not only applies to the animals, but also applies to the silverware, and also applies to the plates, and also applies to the cups, and so on." And Prince Philip was so enamored by this that he called over Queen Elizabeth. And again, the conversation ensued, and the questions were asked, and they were so interested in it. And the Jewish person who had challenged the rabbi saw that the rabbi was talking with the prince and with the queen, and so he came over to maybe I can get in on this conversation too. I'm Jewish too, and he said to Prince Philip, the rabbi is not the only Jewish person who was invited. I was invited to this dinner as well. And the queen looked at this Jewish man and said to him, "Well, if you're Jewish, then where's your plate?" And that's the story. And the question, where's your plate? It's a humorous question in the context of the story, but it's a very deep question in terms of belonging to the Jewish people, because you could substitute for that word plate so many things. Where's your heart? Where's your sense of compassion? Where's your love for Israel? There's so much in terms of the presence of the Jew in the world today and what it means to be living in a sea of anti-Semitism. And we look around and we challenge each other and we say, well, if you're Jewish, where's your Magen David? Where's your Israeli? Where's your jewelry representing your love for Israel? Where's your pride in being Jewish? If you're Jewish, where's your plate? It's a powerful question that can only be presented, of course, in the context of that story of kashrut, but applies to so much of what we do. We look around and we say, okay, if I'm Jewish and I'm invited to the banquet, what am I going to bring? What am I going to carry around with me to show that I'm a member of this faith, to show that I'm a proud, not card-carrying, but plate-carrying member of the Jewish people? It's a challenge to us all. What How do we represent our Judaism proudly when we leave our homes and when we mix in society and we go around and maybe even meet royalty or meet people whose opinions matter to us? What's the degree of Jewish identity that we bring to those encounters so we can answer the Queen's question, where's your plate? Wishing you a Shabbat Shalom, a Shabbat of peace and rest and only goodness and blessing for us, for all of Israel, for the entire world. Shabbat Shalom.